New haircut? Right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about brilliant salespeople who close deals. More specifically, this article right here on Medium, which you're not going to be able to see because I have my camera set to manual focus, but I'm going to link it up in the show notes below. I've made this video already once, didn't like it. I spent way too much time talking about this article, and I really want to fly through some of the key points here. There's a lot of great points in this article. Certainly go ahead and read through them. I'm going to start with the first one that the author points out, in that great salespeople are humble as fuck, and I totally agree. Coming up in the sales industry that I came up in, family-owned car dealership, we had people that worked for us for their entire lives, 30, 40 years. We had customers who were buying cars from us for their first cars and their second, third, fourth cars, and then buying their kids' cars, all from us. It's a really humbling experience. And another point that sort of gets overshadowed in this section of the article is that humble salespeople want to help people. They want to help other people on their team, not just the customer. They want to help other people on their team because they understand the value of education and enriching other salespeople on the team, ultimately making more sales, ultimately creating a whole lineage of happy customers that bring more customers into the business. We're going to talk about that in a moment. That stereotypical salesperson is just a thing of the past. We're definitely on to a different way of selling. A lot more people are a lot more educated on a product or service. There's a lot more competition in the market. I don't care what product or service you have, unless you're selling jets or spaceships or satellites, and even that's probably pretty competitive. But staying humble is the ultimate thing. Up seasons, down seasons, you have to understand where you're at as a salesperson, help others, help your customer. They get that relationships are everything. They totally understand that referral business is key. Having a good relationship with somebody is key, and that is what you lead with going into a sale. It's about, do I want to do business with you? Do you qualify, both customer and business, salesperson and customer? Do we both qualify to work with one another? And generally, it's because we have a good relationship. We both understand each other. We both understand the problems. And as a salesperson, I understand the problem that the customer has, which is the most critical thing that you can do as a salesperson, is to understand what the actual problem is. Otherwise, you're just feeding out the dollars and cents stuff and the features stuff, right? It's not really helping the customer. You're just throwing stuff against the wall. Here it is. You really don't care to solve their problem. And you really, and at least I'd say 80% of the deals that I work on, is you don't really uncover that problem until you have a good relationship with that person. Be it in a little 5-minute phone call or years that you might know somebody before they actually do business with you. And that's, again, one of the most important things that you can do is cultivate that relationship both personally with your customers and professionally with the team that you work. Really quick, the next tip that the author points out is that they worship the power of referrals. Absolutely. I just mentioned that in that last point. It was huge in the car business. It's huge in the agency space when I was in there. And it's even more important in the hosting space, the enterprise and big business hosting space that I'm in now. This is an interesting point that the author makes next, and that is that they've gone all in on social media. Salespeople who embrace social media today, this is the last sort of digital handshake that we have. I talk about this a lot in other videos, but if you're doing just business, if you're just doing business through email and live chat and just Slack chat rooms today, or Twitters or LinkedIn or whatever it might be, this is the digital handshake. And without being face-to-face with somebody, you have to put that that step forward in social media and sort of being yourself and cultivating that sort of that brand of yourself and really finding your voice online in something that might feel a little awkward to you, if this is new to you, right? Or if you're an old school salesperson who does everything, all the business in person, handshakes, physical handshakes, totally get it, totally respect it. It's still super valuable. But in today's world, you have to harness the power of social media and be able to connect with people on different levels without that face-to-face time. Two of the last points that I really enjoyed from this article are the fact that a great salesperson will take the complex and make it simple, and that they tailor themselves to their audience. I sort of roll the two of these points together because that is critical. Making complex scenarios super easy to understand. whether it's the technical solution that you're offering, or even your pricing structure, or your long-term support, whatever it might be, you really have to dumb it down for somebody, because you can't give them too many options. You can't, make it super convoluted where they can't follow and make that decision. When you can simplify something that's super complex and you can tailor that to your specific audience, you've identified what their problem is and you've qualified them, and you've either said, we have the right fit for you. This goes back to being humble. You can't close every deal, so let's get that out of the way first, right? So you understand you're not going to close every single deal that comes your way. But number two, you qualify them to understand that you have what they need. Not just to sell them on it because you want to make a sale, but that you actually have the solution to their problem. And then once we get that out of the way, you try to make that as simple to understand as possible, because not every customer is coming in from the same context. They don't have the same education or experience, or they're literally in different markets if you haven't sort of niched down into a specific market that you serve. So if you dumb it down and you tailor it to them, you tailor your pitch, you tailor the way that you talk to them, you tailor the way you present stuff to them, it makes all the difference in the world. And there's one thing that's super hard in the digital space, we just talked about this, that you might not be face-to-face. You might not have that FaceTime all the time, not Apple FaceTime, but literal FaceTime. One of the best things I learned in the car business was that body language, the way they talk to you, the way they shake their hands, the way they look at you or don't look at you. There's so much in that hand-to-hand experience that you can read from a customer. It does make it pretty tough in today's online world to gauge that. But we have tools that are out there to do that. You're using Skype, you're either using video conference, you have email, you have Slack chat rooms, Twitter dialogues, things like that. You're not going to get it right away. It's going to come through experience and sort of having conversations with people online until you really get into a groove. But super important that you make things simple and that you tailor it to the audience. Last but not least, one of the last points that the author makes here that I really enjoy is that great salespeople are aware of their ego. This is super true. This is super hard to overcome. A lot of great salespeople who close a lot of deals, who make a lot of sales, who meet a lot of leads, that shake a lot of hands, they're very ego-driven people. I've worked in the car business. I worked at Circuit City back in the day when computers were $5,000 each, right? Like for just the tower. And there were a lot of salespeople there because you were making a lot of money back then selling computers. So it sounds sort of shoddy, but it was actually a pretty aggressive sales business that I was in back then. And of course, agency space and now the hosting space. You have to be aware of your ego. At the same time, when I talk to people and they say, I can't sell, I don't like selling, it's because they feel like it's this egotistical driven thing. And it doesn't have to be. And in fact, if you put that ego at the door, that's when you really win. On the flip side of that, when you are confident in the decisions that you're making and you're confident in the product and service that you're offering, that's the ego boost that you need. That's all you need. You don't need to look down upon somebody or force somebody to buy something. What you need is the confidence in you are providing the right solution to your right customer, to the right customer. I have what you need, not in a bad way, but that I'm solving this problem that you're coming to me for. If the problem that the customer is coming to you for is they just want to pay a lower price, they want to get it cheaper through you, the whole deal is screwed. Your whole relationship is going to be in jeopardy. The problem with that scenario is if they're expecting to just get things cheaper from you, in the long run, you're probably not going to be happy with that. It's going to be a tough relationship. You try to upsell them, price increases, support issues, whatever it might be, they're always going to be looking for, I just want the cheapest price. Probably not the best customer that you should have said yes to. Which goes back to that ego. If you have just enough ego to tell a customer, we're not the right fit. I know it's a little scary. You're not going to make the sale. It might hurt you sometimes. But in the long run, it's the best thing that you can do for your sales team, for the business that you work for, or for your own practice or business that you run. So that's it. That's take 2 on this video. Of course, you never saw take 1 because I threw it away. But I really hope you enjoy this episode. I've been doing a lot of sales, marketing, web services stuff on the channel. Anything else that you want to hear? What's of interest to you? What kind of individual or practice are you in? Are you a web freelancer? Are you a designer? Do you sell digital products? traditional salesperson? What is it? Leave me a comment below. If you like this video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you want more of it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the old notification bell, which a lot of people are saying nowadays. I know I've said that many times. If you want to be notified when I post these videos, go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. It's mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe to join the mailing list. I'll see you in the next episode.